the Iowa star. Four to 3, Kentucky.
Watch the Fighting Illini. They'll pick up man-to-man full court. That's what you've got to do if you're outmanned on the inside. If you've got a size problem, which the Illinois club does have today, you've got to put pressure up court.
Bowie, amazingly enough, at 7'2", will bring it down occasionally, as you saw there.
He is sort of their pressure release man. When they get in trouble down court, he comes up and they simply lob to him.
Master. Altenberger with the rebound. Doug Altenberger, who at one time considered coming to Kentucky. Of course, with the strong family ties, he wound up at Illinois. Has turned into a fine player. Montgomery can't get the shot right.
Good thinking by Montgomery. He knew that Turpin was behind him. He turned and went back out. Look at Richardson inside.
Little double pump motion by Quinn Richardson, the 5'11" senior guard from Robbins, Illinois. And Illinois has its first lead of the game at 5-4.
I guess the little guys have no fear. They decide to go in there anyway.
Showed amazing hang time on that particular shot. Turpin. Well, when you're 6'11" and you can shoot from the perimeter, I think you've got something.
He does it inside and he does it outside. He's been a good scorer from that range right there all year long for Kentucky. Helped them win another Southeastern Conference championship, their 35th.
Turpin has Kentucky's first 6 points in this game. Winters.
That was a good, strong rebound by Walker. He got up in the air that time.
Really a big league board. Beal almost slips. Turpin, who feels he's hot.
He's done it all for them so far here in the first half.
Turpin 8, Illinois 5. 14-40. Left in the first half.
The decibels are beginning to rise in here. Illinois very patient again. Good idea. You take the crowd out of the basketball game. Slow them down. Get them back in their seats. Get your shot up.
Douglas with the miss. The rebound coming to Beal. Dickie Beal, who has been plagued by injuries throughout his career and didn't hit the starting lineup till the last 12 games of the regular season. We get a foul called away from the ball on Richardson. Lou Henson looking on. Lou is playing in his 9th NCAA tournament. I should say coaching in his 9th. He feels like he's playing. And has averaged 20 wins over the last 6 years. Timeout. Kentucky leads it 8-5.
A poorly designed computer can be a painful experience. Burroughs is changing this by studying the effects computers have on the people who use them.
Morning, Claire.
We developed a high-resolution screen that's easy on the eyes, an adjustable keyboard that's easy on the back, even modified the sound of the key click. What's important to Burroughs isn't just how well computers work, but how well people work with computers.
Night, Claire.
It's not easy leaving a home you love, even if you've outgrown it. The memories get in the way. Your local Century 21 professional understands that. So we don't just list your house, we represent it, showing a buyer what's special about your home, your neighborhood, the schools, knowing which families and homes were made for each other.
I think he likes it too.
Bringing more families and homes together. Maybe that's what made us #1.
Put #1 to work for you. Century 21.
Frank Lieber along with Larry Connolly at a very noisy Rupp Arena. Kentucky leading 8-5 here in the early going, but the Illini are not without their fans. So far, it's been Melvin Turpin, who has hit all 8 points, and Melvin looks like he really wants a basketball.
Frank, he really does. He's the offensive star for this club. He's led them in scoring this year. And really, when he wants the basketball, Kentucky will get it to him because he has the good range from 15 feet, and he's very strong on the inside. I made reference earlier to these two big guys, both Turpin and Bowie, looking for each other on offense, and they do quite often. When one gets the ball, the other one is always trying to work his way open.
3-point lead for the Wildcats as they inbound. Beal lobs it to Turpin over Mintz. That's his first miss. Scott Mintz Mintz came into the game for Illinois during the timeout. He did not replace Winters, however.
No, he took Montgomery's place. I've been watching Winters go up and down the floor. He doesn't seem to be having any problem running. It's just a matter of his cutting to the side.
Mintz has started 6 games this year, so he's a seasoned veteran for the Illini. Nice pass underneath to Douglas.
Good look inside. Douglas got a screen, a double screen on the other side, and gave a little ball fake. He froze the Kentucky defense, and he got the ball off the glass.
Wildcats got James Blackman getting ready to come into the game. There's another edge for Kentucky, the depth of their bench, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they go about 9 or 10 players. They can go down there, both big guys and guards. There's Master.
Jim Master, who is the Kentucky designated long-range bomber. He is the zone buster par excellence. Played in our Pan American team last year. And an outstanding senior. Had somewhat of a shooting slump during the season this year, but he's got it back. Altenberger trying to hit. Rebound. Bowie tips it away. Save. Nice job by Mintz.
Mintz got in there. Kentucky had him pretty well screened off. Bowie was so busy screening Winters away from the basket that Mintz got to the ball.
Efren Winters, leading scorer and rebounder for the Illini. Richardson. And Bowie scrapes it off the window. He had 12 the other night against Maryland. Dickie Beal bringing the ball off the court, had 15 points, 9 assists, and 6 steals against Maryland. He's already got 4 assists in this game. 10-7, Kentucky.
Turpin really trying to fight for position against Mintz inside. Look at Bowie look in. Look at Master look in.
Mintz tips it away and out of bounds. And they say that Turpin touched it last. Joe B. Hall doesn't agree. Joe B. now 18 years head coach at Kentucky. He was an assistant when you were there, wasn't he?
Started his first year at Kentucky was my senior year.
Made you run a little bit, huh?
We'll talk about that later on.
All right. Illinois with the basketball in the front court. They have a chance to trim the lead to 1 with 12 minutes to go. Mintz has it curl out on him. And Dickie Beal fouling Richardson. First foul for Beal, second team foul on the Kentucky Wildcats.
Oftentimes you see the tall timber going inside against that glass. That time the 2 little guys, Richardson and Beal, both about 5'10" to 5'11", battling for the rebound, and Richardson won that battle.
Illinois 25-4 on the year. Kentucky 28-4. Illini tied Purdue for the conference championship. Didn't play a tournament, of course. And Kentucky won not only the Southeast Conference Championship regular season, but the tournament as well. Mintz.
It's like Blackman got him on the arm just as he started down inside.
James Blackman, the 6'3" freshman from Marion, Indiana. He's the young man who won the first game for Kentucky that they played on Christmas Eve under less than ideal conditions in Champaign. It's when they had that wind chill factor 60 or 70 below. Montgomery is back in the game, and now Winters comes out for the first time. Winters did not score here in the early going. From the corner, Douglas. Rebound, Beal.
Illinois not having much success in that outside shooting that we talked about in the early going, and that's the reason they're down 3. They've had the shots, they just haven't dropped.
Wildcats had all they could handle the other night from Louisville. What a great job by Milt Wagner and Lancaster Gordon. That is Master. Master with his second basket. Gordon and Lancaster at 47 points between them. Correction, Walker. Kenny Walker with his first basket.
Kentucky's gone to his own defense, a 2-3. Illinois got it in the middle to Altenberger.
First basket of the day for Doug Altenberger.
Right, it's a sign of a good basketball team. They immediately recognized that Kentucky went to that 2-3 zone. Altenberger saw the opening, went right to the middle. They got him the ball, and he got the basket.
Rebound underneath by Altenberger.
Again, Kentucky's going to stay in that zone defense. This time they'll make the adjustment. Illinois lines up with what looks like a 1-4. Altenberger's gone to the wing now. Douglas handling the ball out front. You would think Richardson would be the guy who runs the club, but it's Douglas who really gets the basketball to the open man.
Richardson with the cross-court pass to Altenberger. On top to Douglas. A lot of shoving going on between Mintz and Bowie, and this time they put it on Mintz.
Don't ever think for a minute that this Fighting Illini club didn't come in here to win this basketball game. They know they're in a tough place to play. Watch Mintz and Bowie go at it right there. Could have gone either way.
Kentucky leading 12-9 as we hit the 10-minute mark. That's what's left to play here in the first half at Rupp Arena.
Pretty low-scoring affair. I think we expected it. We knew that Illinois would be patient on their offense. Kentucky has also shown a lot of patience on offense.
Lou Henson indicated to us yesterday, no way we can run with them. Turpin driving the paint. 3 players hit the deck.
I think he ran over both Montgomery and Mintz, and it looks like Walker might be hurt. He's underneath the basket.
Foul, I believe, was on Turpin. Let's see. Kenny Walker is shaken up. Timeout. Kentucky leading Illinois 12-9 with 9:48 left to play in the first half.
Chevy Tough is taking charge with 3 things a Chevy S10 long bed 4x4 offers that Ford Ranger doesn't. Like shift on the go Instatrack 4-wheel drive, like available Delco Build Sign gas shocks. Plus, S10 long bed has a box almost 5 inches longer and wider than Ford Ranger. These 3 bikes won't fit in a Ford like this. Tough Chevy S10, the real king of the hill in long bed pickups. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
Kendall Motor Oil protects engines from friction. To prove how well, we plated ordinary piston rings with pure gold and ran them inside this engine for 5,000 miles. Kendall friction fighters are better than car makers demand. But can Kendall protect even soft gold? Look, no visible wear. That's protection. Friction-fighting Kendall Motor Oil for protection worth its weight in gold.
Later today, see U.S. Olympic champion Scott Hamilton defend his world title, plus the pairs competition, the World Figure Skating Championships on CBS Sports Saturday.
6'8" sophomore Kenny Walker being helped from the court. Looked like it might have been an ankle, Larry.
This is exactly what happened right here. You see Turpin with a charge. Look at Altenberger go down. He ran into the back of Walker. Now watch Montgomery fall on Walker, and Walker very casually fell to the floor. I don't think he's hurt too badly. I think it may be just a slight ankle sprain. Expect to see him back in the ballgame.
They replace him with Winston Bennett, a 6'7" freshman, number 25 from Louisville. Illinois has hit only 36%. And Kentucky has hit 67%. So Kentucky now with Bennett in there, with Bowie and Turpin, the Twin Towers, and up front they've got Blackman and Beal, 2 freshmen in there right now for the Kentucky Wildcats, as Douglas brings the ball across the center line. Mintz still in there along with Winters, Montgomery, and Altenberger for the Illini. Tip by Bowie, who saves it, but Montgomery gets it back.
I'll tell you, for a guy that is 7 feet tall, he is exceptionally quick. Did you see him get to that wing and that steal? Got long arms.
Great anticipation. Efren Winters is fouled by Bennett as he hits the slam.
You want to see a great lob? Watch this pass to the inside. A beautiful feed by Bruce Douglas. Winters up, strong with the move. Nobody can reach that far up. Winters looks like that ankle is in pretty good shape.
.69 sophomore from Chicago. Can't complete the 3-point play, but the Illini get it right back. It is Kentucky by 1, 12-11.
And they're going to stay in that 2-3 zone. You see Blackman and Beal on the point out there. Illinois is going to attack her with a 1-2-2, and they put Mintz and Altenberger on the wings with Douglas up top. Kentucky very leery. They may be thinking about Winters going up again, but here's Altenberger.
Mintz had his hands on it. Bowie took it away. Thus far, Illinois has got Kentucky playing their game.
I'm going to tell you something. Don't think the Illini didn't come here to play today. They're ready to play a basketball game. If this Kentucky crowd and this team doesn't think so, they're going to be expecting it.
Dickie Beal looking things over. Bowie has come out of the middle. So all they're left with in there is Turpin. Shame, huh?
Looks like Mintz with a foul right there. Turpin on the lower left side of the lane. They really try to get the ball to him a lot when he wants it, and obviously he wants it because he's had the hot hand here in the first half.
Beal will throw it inbounds for the Wildcats.
And again, we saw Illinois go into that man-to-man defense on the out-of-bounds play. We're seeing more and more teams do that. More college teams playing man-to-man on that out-of-bounds. I think a lot of clubs have begun to find ways to get into that zone defense and get good, easy shots on the out-of-bounds play.
Turpin with the fake on Mintz. Loose ball. Mintz coming up with it, looking for help. Still loose. Finally, Douglas. 3-on-2 break. Douglas traveled.
That looked like a goal line stand at the free throw line down there. There were about 7 guys on the floor down there. Douglas came up with it, committed the turnover.
Lou Henson, who's a Illini, won their first Big Ten championship since 1963 this year. Master inbounding.
Douglas with just slight pressure on Beal out there. Illinois staying with that man-to-man defense, and Kentucky again goes inside to Turpin.
Master trying to drive on Altenberger, has to bring it back outside.
You know, since they put Scott Mintz in the basketball game, he's really shut Turpin down pretty well.
He hasn't hit a basket.
Good switch right there. Good help by Mintz. Altenberger caught up with Master. That's a good defensive play right there. Lou Henson teaching his fundamental defense, man-to-man, good help.
Illinois, methodical, well-drilled, hard-nosed Big Ten type defense. And they're showing it here at Rupp Arena today. Bennett, freshman that time, trying to brute force it. And Mintz is fouled.
We talked about defense. Watch this right here. Watch Scott Mintz come off and help. He got Master, slowed him up, gave Altenberger an opportunity to catch up with him. Then when he did, he went back to Turpin, his own man. That's great defense. Good man-to-man pressure.
Second foul on Bennett as we return to live action with 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Very low-scoring game at 12-11. Kentucky leading by 1.
We had a low-scoring affair in Atlanta today, too, between Virginia and Indiana.
Altenberger. Face up. He's not going to miss that shot all day.
No, he won't. He's their long-range shooter. He just happens to be missing right now. He's shooting 51% for the year, and most of that from the outside.
The foul is on George Montgomery, the Illini center. 6'8" junior from Chicago. Team fouls. Kentucky has 6, and Illinois has 4, with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Good switch again by the Fighting Illini out front. You saw Altenberger and Douglas communicate. They made the switch, and Master almost committed a turnover by stepping back over the line.
Winston Bennett in the corner to Dickie Beal. Looking inside to the 2 big guys. Turpin off to Bennett. Didn't hit the shot, but was fouled by Mintz, and that is 3 on him, I believe.
Looks like Douglas.
I got to give it to Douglas.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Douglas on the block. He got to Bennett just as Bennett was making his move to the basket. Watch it again right here. You see Bennett with a good feed from Turpin. Takes 1 step. Douglas did not have himself established, and he got called for the block.
2 shots coming up for Winston Bennett. He's the first recruit they've had out of Louisville in quite some time, isn't he?
Kentucky's always had a difficult time recruiting out of Louisville. And now with Denny Crum in the club that he's producing every year, and the NCAA record he's formulated down there for the Cardinals, it makes it even tougher for them to go in and get players out of that area.
2-point lead for the Wildcats. Inside all the way through.
Kentucky's backed off of that pressure. They opened up in a man-to-man defense, and then they went to a 2-3. Might not be a bad idea with them. As you can look at that 2-3 zone from high up, the high-angle camera. Pretty good idea because the Fighting Illini are struggling a little bit from the outside.
Mintz. Altenberger inside the paint. Great feed to Montgomery. Montgomery gets the rebound off his knee. Kentucky's ball out of bounds. For the record, Illinois is 3-1 here in Rupp Arena. But it should be pointed out that none of those games have been against Kentucky. They're in the Kentucky Invitational Tournament. Here comes Richardson back into the game for the Illini.
It's been a frustrating afternoon so far for Illinois. There was a good feed by Altenberger inside to Montgomery. He just couldn't handle it to get the shot in.
Bennett. 360 move to the hoop. Winston Bennett gets his first basket. He came off the bench and had 10 very big points in 15 minutes against Louisville the other night. Kentucky with its biggest lead at 5.
Illinois has been able to penetrate that zone defense, but they haven't been able to make the shots once they got the ball in there.
That one really got the pom-poms going up in the stands again. Douglas.
There it is. That's what they need, the outside shooting of Douglas, Altenberger, and Richardson. If they do that, they'll loosen up that Kentucky zone. Good pressure on the inside. They really allow the inbound pass, the pressure on the guys inside. Let Beal throw it, but make sure you're covered for everybody breaking to the ball.
Kentucky by 3 with just under 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Beal fakes the jumper. Over Douglas, doesn't take it. It's interesting, despite the fact this is Kentucky's home arena, they were not allowed to practice on their own arena this week, except the one practice you're allowed the day before the game on Wednesday.
Coach Hall got upset one time this year. They had a Billy Joel concert in here, and they couldn't get in here. He couldn't understand that.
Master from the corner. Jim Master with his second long-range ICBM. Makes it 18-13, Kentucky. Kentucky with the big edge in the front line scoring so far. The lob pass into Winters, and he is fouled by Bowie.
And that's the second time that Illinois has gone to the inside with that lob to Winters. He has no fear of these Twin Towers when he goes inside, and they're more than willing to lob the ball up there for him to stuff. He got the first one. That time Bowie fouled him. Joe Hall talking right there to Sam Bowie, explaining to him how he wants to defend Winters to keep him away from that basket.
Efren Winters, an all Big Ten performer. He knows what it's like to be competitive. He comes from a family of 13 kids. They got a little competitive around mealtime, I'm sure. Lou Henson, very, very intense.
Looks like Kenny Walker's going to come back into the ballgame.
Kenny Walker, the 6'8" sophomore who injured his ankle earlier, is back in the contest, and Bowie will get a rest.
You know, talking about ankle injuries, it's really a shame that Efren Winters isn't 100% here today, because he's one of the outstanding sophomores in this country.
Timeout, 4:07 left to play in the first half.
New typewriter, Miss Tompkins.
New typewriter, but I've got an IBM typewriter.
You, Miss Tompkins, 8th floor?
But I love my IBM. I depend on it.
Ah, but this one's got pages of memory and it can be upgraded.
But nothing else has the IBM Touch. Give somebody else that typewriter.
But this is an IBM, a new electronic IBM typewriter.
It takes an IBM typewriter to replace an IBM typewriter, the most preferred typewriter there is.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
You gotta keep him out of there!
I'm used to him yelling, but not at me.
Bring out your best.
The best has a taste all its own.
Nice game.
Enjoy it.
One of the world's most spectacular courses is the setting for a weekend of high-stakes golf. The PGA's top money winners compete in the Tournament Players Championship next weekend on CBS Sports.
Coming up at halftime, highlights from that exciting Virginia-Indiana game just concluded, and a preview of tomorrow's two regional finals, the Midwest Final and the West Final. Shooting statistics, Kentucky shooting 62% of the first half to the Illini's 38%, and yet Illinois is within 4.
If there's one bright light to be said about the way Illinois has played here in the first half, it's the fact that even though they're shooting 38%, they're only down 4 points. I think that bodes well for them, because if Douglas, Richardson, and Altenberger start to light up from the outside, we could see an awfully good basketball game.
Lou Henson has been around this game a long time, 22 years as a college head coach at Hardin-Simmons at New Mexico State, and for the last 9 years at Illinois. Kentucky inbounding, and Beal in the front court will run the show.
So far, that pressure by the Fighting Illini has really not hurt Kentucky. They've been able to break the press and get into their half-court game.
18-14. Wildcats lead it with 3:50 left in the half. Beal short with the jumper. Rebound. Altenberger had it. Who's got it? Beal winds up with it again, and Bennett underneath. Well, you talk about a bounce of the ball.
That's about the third time that's occurred down there. The ball seems to be very slippery on that end of the floor.
Once again, a 6-point advantage for Kentucky, and that will match the biggest lead of the ball game so far. Richardson cans one.
That's what Illinois has got to do. They moved the ball around the perimeter of that defense against Kentucky, and they got the open man. That time it was Richardson.
20-16. Wildcats lead it as we hit the 3-minute mark. Left to play in the first half. Of course, Lexington and Rupp Arena will be home for the Final Four next year, right on this court, which you'll see on CBS.
Kentucky showing a little bit of patient offense of their own right here.
Bennett posted up with Winters, gets the basket.
I'll tell you, he gets a roll on that basketball about every time he goes down that lane. It draws about every inch of iron up there, but he gets it to roll in.
Things seem to happen, and most of them are good when Bennett comes in off the bench for the Wildcats. As we said, he had 10 the other night against Louisville. Richardson answers with a 2-pointer of his own, his third.
And I'll tell you why that's happening over there. They're screening that downside man on that zone defense. 5-second call right there. They got the ball back. Good defense. First turnover by Illinois against Kentucky with that pressure.
Joe B. Hall, who coaches the winningest program in the history of college basketball. In terms of victories, national titles, you name it, Kentucky's on top in virtually every category.
Winston Bennett hit Doug Altenberger just now with an elbow. You'll see right here as we come back in here. Look at this defense by Illinois. Dickie Beal holding the basketball, looking, nobody there. And remember, the ball's got to touch the hands of the inbound player before that count stops. It didn't, and it goes back to Illinois. And while we were away, Altenberger got hit in the jaw, and it looked like Bennett who committed the foul, and Altenberger will go to the line.
Bowie is back in replacing Bennett, who has 3 personal fouls. Doug Altenberger from Peoria, 6'4", sophomore. That makes it a 2-point game.
Let's see if Illinois can get it back one more time. Good lob to Bowie, and that's the way Kentucky handles the press. They get it right back to Beal, and he busts it up the side.
Beal, as we mentioned, is the guy who makes him go. He'll give him a kick in the pants if necessary. He's a coach on the floor. And Joe B. Hall said he is playing about as good as any point guard I have ever had. Winters grabs it off the glass, but a nice play by Mintz, who deflected that pass off the backboard. And here come the Illini now with a chance to tie with 1:45 left to play in the first half. Kentucky having the edge inside, as you can tell by that graphic.
Still in that 2-3 zone. Bowie now has moved out on Richardson, who's made 2 shots in a row from right there. I'm wondering if they might hold the basketball for the last shot of the first half. Make Kentucky come out of that zone.
1:25 left in the half.
There's Richardson. He's got second thoughts about that shot now with Bowie there. He moved away and he thought about it.
Richardson under Bowie. Hits with the open shot. Couldn't hit it. Turpin with the rebound. Here come the Wildcats with 1 minute left to play in the half.
Good move by Illinois to get back on defense. Kentucky not able to run that patented fast break that they have. The Fighting Illini in good position to handle it. Maybe Kentucky should stop and look now for that last shot of the first half. It looks as if they're not. They're still trying to work the ball inside.
Turpin has it blocked on him. It's stolen by Douglas. 35 seconds left in the half. Mintz, little 6-footer.
Good feed by Douglas. Mintz just floated inside. The defense was not set up, and he got it in. We've got a tied basketball game.
Scott Mintz with his first basket. And now it will be Kentucky going for the last shot and a chance to break the tie here at the end of the first half. Beal holding up 4 fingers. They better get into it. Yes. Dickie Bill at the buzzer gets his first basket of the game and puts Kentucky back out in front. That's the end of the first half with the score. Kentucky 24, Illinois 22. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this commercial message and a word from your local station.
Chevrolet, taking charge.
Ever notice how many Chevy Chevettes you see on the road? That's because Chevette's basic design hasn't changed in 9 years. A design so easy to service, many people do it themselves. And so dependable, 97% ever built are still going strong. Chevette, the lowest price car built in America, designed to please almost everybody.
Chevrolet,
And you.
taking charge.
Bigger engines were easy on oil. But today's smaller, higher revving engines are tougher. They can break down an oil's viscosity within 1,500 miles. That's why there's Castrol. Tests show Castrol suffers no significant breakdown of viscosity even after 5,000 miles. So use Castrol, because if you make things too hard on your engine could make things hard on you. Castrol, engineered for smaller cars.
The good life in America means reaching for your dreams.
Millions of Americans will enjoy their leisure years more because of the Equitable. We're one of the nation's largest managers of pension funds. America's keeper of dreams.
We are the Equitable. Yes, we'll help you live the good life. We are the Equitable. We can help your dreams come true.
This is CBS.
If your car's hit a few too many potholes, take advantage of Olympic Muffler's Shock Special. Buy one, get second one at half price, now for a limited time.
Olympic Muffler, that's the name.
The merits of keeping all your eggs in one basket depends mainly on the type and the stability of the basket. Keeping your financial dealings with one institution makes sense from the standpoint of convenience. And if that institution happens to be one of the largest and strongest of its kind in America, it makes sense from the standpoint of stability. And when your money's insured, it makes even more sense. Great Financial Federal for convenience, stability, and safety. Your investments earn dollars and make sense.
Welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger. If Lou Henson and Illinois come back and get into the Final Four, it will not be a first for Coach Lou Henson. Back in 1970, he took New Mexico State into the Final Four. Two of his starters, Sam Lacey at center and Jimmy Collins in the backcourt. Now, earlier today, Virginia won the right to go back to the Final Four. Those finals, of course, next weekend out in Seattle, 50-48 over Indiana and Bobby Knight. Jim Miller will score here, and he'll make a three-point play out of this sequence, and it's a 23-22 Virginia lead. 2 minutes left in the first half. Uwe Blah, who played a fine game for Coach Knight, he gets up with a missed shot and puts the Hoosiers back on top, and they led by 3 at the intermission, 26-23. But in the second half, Olden Polynice hits the jump hook, and Virginia led it by 1, 27-26. Bobby Knight took his freshman guard, Steve Alford, out for a little strategy talk. Tried to calm him down. He was scoreless in the first half. He finally got his first points, and Indiana led it by 2, 38-36. But then, a minute and a half left in the game. Kenton Edelin with the steal. And the Cavaliers were in command. One last chance for the Hoosiers to send it into overtime. Stu Robinson's jumper is no good. Ricky Stokes dribbles all the way to Seattle. And afterwards, Coach Terry Holland said he was extremely pleased with how this team played.
Our guys have played so hard, and we had a chance to win it. You know, just one more play we knew was all it was going to take. One rebound here, a free throw there, and of course my insides were really churning.
There's a man who indeed has reason to smile, going to the Final Four without the great Ralph Sampson. Switching for a moment now into women's competition, Texas last night defeated Northeast Louisiana, and that was down in Ruston, and that was a Midwest regional semifinal. Texas now will go into Louisiana Tech tomorrow. In the other game, Tennessee over Alabama, 65-58 was the final there. And of course, a reminder that next Sunday here on CBS, we will carry the Women's Championship Final. That is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will continue on the road to Seattle here on CBS in just a moment.
Want to clear out a room full of guys in a hurry? Try this. The Shadow from Honda. People want to listen to it. People want to look at it. And everybody wants to ride it. The Shadow from Honda. Now you know who's in charge.
A $390 one-way drop-off charge? Nobody mentioned that.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
Please accept my apology.
Only National guarantees one-way rentals with unlimited free mileage for only $10 a day more than our regular low rates. Guaranteed. And if we don't deliver, you'll get $50 off your next rental. We give you national attention, and that's the truth.
If you're just starting out in business, Team Xerox can help with a choice of small copiers or memory writer typewriters. And as you grow bigger, we offer you personal computers and larger copiers. And as you grow even bigger, we offer integrated workstations, electronic printers, and service second to none. So is Team Xerox better for small companies or large corporations? It depends on your point of view.
The university is the archive of the Western mind. It's the keeper of the Western culture, the guardian of our heritage, the teacher of our teachers, the dwelling place of the free mind. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
Now, one of our two regional championship games tomorrow, it'll be Houston against the surprising Demon Deacons from Wake Forest in the Midwest Final. The Cougars have a score to settle, for they came into this tournament with a bitter memory of what happened to them in last year's championship game.
Wittenberg, it's a long ways. They won it on the dunk.
No question about it. That pain is still right here, you know, and we'll never get over that.
Having come that close, the Cougars are determined to get back to the championship game. That goal propelled them through another strong year and into the Midwest Regional as the #2 seed. Houston swept past Louisiana Tech in its first game. Then Phi Slamma Jamma went to work on Memphis State, once again reminding the rest of the country that Texas is not a one-sport state.
They think the only thing that Texas people know how to do is play football, but we're a great basketball team. We can take the Midwest Regionals. I think we have the better team. I think we got the better talent, and I think we're going to win this.
The top-ranked Tar Heels were supposed to be the big team for North Carolina this year.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina.
But Indiana put the burden on Wake Forest's shoulders.
Comerchees with a rebound. Almost threw it away. Holmes had to throw it in. 3 seconds. 2.
For Ray Meyer, it's all over.
Danny Young.
But the man who beat him looks ahead.
We haven't had much chance to think about Houston, but we'll have to figure out some ways to keep them off balance a little bit and be in a position as we were today to have a chance to win at the end.
Now, that is the first game of our doubleheader here tomorrow on CBS. And, of course, airtime is 12 noon, the World Figure Skating Championships. Now, the first half of those World Figure Skating Championships you will see right here on CBS this afternoon after we finish the second half of Kentucky, Illinois. Good basketball game, Broyd. These two teams met on Christmas Eve in Champaign. Horrendous snowstorm in downstate Illinois. Referees couldn't get to the game, so they settled on 3 fans in the stands. They had them come down and ref the game. 2 guys were wearing Levi's. Kentucky wins it at the buzzer by 2 points. Joe B. Hall says, first time of my life the refs ever came to me afterwards and asked for an autograph. Sure wish I'd get those guys back for this game. You'll see the second half coming up now on CBS in just a moment.
This Mercedes-Benz pioneered the turbo diesel engine that powers this Mercedes-Benz. This is the C111 research vehicle. This is the 300D sedan. The C111 set 9 world speed records. The 300D is the best performing diesel sold in America. And that's the big difference. You can own the 300D turbo diesel sedan.
Before you buy the new Michelin XA4 all-season radial, remember, every XA4 has 20 million miles of testing behind it to prove it performs like a tire designed for the ring and like a great handling highway tire. And to prove it keeps on performing mile after mile after mile. After 20 million miles, the Michelin XA4 proved it had nothing left to prove. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Excuse me?
Yes?
What's that 76 mean?
Oh, well now, young lady, that stands for Union 76. The gasoline's with Spirit.
Spirit? That's achieved in the refining, isn't it?
Oh.
Doesn't Spirit refer to good volatility control? Thereby reducing the instance of everlock and other combustion abnormalities that inhibit good drivability and starting?
Murph!
Fill her up with Spirit.
The gasoline with Spirit.
You wouldn't have a chemical breakdown, would you?
The Spirit of 76.
It takes a lot of groundwork, dedication, and strength to become airborne. The Delta professionals know that when each team member does well, the whole team gets stronger. That's how we can extend our very finest to you, both on the ground and in the air. To be a champion, it takes team spirit, and Delta is ready.
Relive the memories of the 1984 NCAA Basketball Championship with a copy of the Final Four program. Included are stories, photos, and information about the Final Four, a review of North Carolina State's 1983 title, and more. Send a check or money order for $5.50 to NCAA Program, Box 1984A, Lexington, Kentucky, 40594. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
Halftime at Rupp Arena in Lexington with the score. Kentucky 24, Illinois 22. We'll be back after this commercial message and a word from your local station.
Here in the cockpit, you realize that the Mazda RX-7 didn't become a legend merely because of the turbine-like flow of its rotary engine, its slippery aerodynamics, or its impressive list of standard features. The RX-7's success is largely due to its outstanding value, but even more, to its outstanding performance. The more you look, the more you like.
When people set about fixing things, they naturally head for Sears. You'll find Craftsman hand tools like these, guaranteed forever, in more toolboxes, Craftsman mowers in more backyards, weather beater paint on more brushes, and more people clean up with a Kenmore washer than any other. They're all America's best sellers.
5/8.
That's a recommendation you can trust from a few million of your neighbors.
There's more for your life at Sears.
This is CBS.
My grandfather built this hospital 50 years ago. Back then, the selection of commercial hardware was limited, and he relied on Schiller Hardware to deliver quality products.
Today, as a commercial contractor myself, I depend on Schiller.
Schiller has the only specification writing team in the region. Their experts assure us we're using the right products to meet the demands of the job and budget. From commercial hardware to steel doors and frames, Schiller Hardware, the right hardware at the right price.
The store with
with the bow that ties up happy memories. Sam Myers formal wear with 5 locations to fit you.
Today's regional final tournament game is sponsored by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products, and by IBM and the new IBM PC Junior, a bright little addition to the family.
Welcome back to Bluegrass Country, Lexington, Kentucky. Halftime, Kentucky leading 24-22 over Illinois. I'm Frank Lieber along with Larry Conley. Thus far, Illinois got Kentucky playing their game.
They really have. Illinois' defense has really effectively shut down Melvin Turpin, who had such a great start. He hit his first 4 baskets and looked like he was going to be a terror in the first half. Then all of a sudden, Scott Mintz got into the basketball game and just ended it right there. And I think that's really been the reason that Illinois has stayed as close as they have, because they certainly haven't shot the ball that well.
Now, Kentucky has the edge in field goal percentage here in the first half, a very sizable edge at one point, which was narrowed near the end of the half. But there you see it right now at halftime, 65 to 45%. A lot of tenacity on the part of Illinois. Bruce Douglas doing an outstanding job, ball stealing, ball hawking.
Here's that good defense we talked about. Look at Douglas strip the ball from Turpin right there. We talked about his completeness as a player. Watch him right here. He took it on the defense. Watch Mintz filter inside. Good feed by Douglas. Mintz sees there's no one around and stuck it in. We talked about the shooting of these two clubs, obviously with 9 field goals. You see right here on this end, this is what Illinois has done on the outside. They've made 5 of their 9 field goals from here. They don't want to go inside against the taller Kentucky team. You go down to the other end, you see Kentucky and all those red dots. That's where they get the bulk of their offense. Their shots are all on the inside.
Interesting stat here in the first half. Sam Bowie has not attempted a single shot. Of course, Mel Turpin has been the story. Hit his first 4 shots, but then he cooled off after Mintz got on him.
Kentucky will get the ball to open the second half here. Don't be surprised if they don't try to go inside to Bowie a little bit in the second half here, because he's also an offensive threat. You know, he laid off 2 years, Frank, with that bad leg. He had that stress fracture. And when you're out that long, about the last thing that comes back to you as a player is that shot. That's what you lose, and you need to get that timing back. Right now, he hasn't had a chance to use it.
Wildcats inbounded. In the backcourt, it comes into Master. Kentucky leading 24-22. This man, Dickie Beal, hit the last second shot at the buzzer at the end of the first half to give Kentucky the advantage right now. Their biggest lead has been 6. Illinois has been in front just one time, and that was early in the game by 1 point. The Wildcats throw it away.
And again, they tried to force it to the inside, and it was Bowie trying to make the pass to Turpin. They do look for each other, but that time Bowie threw it into the photographer's row.
Illinois has lost 4 games this year, but they have all been close. Interesting oddity. You look at their starting lineup. Numerically, they go from 21 to 25. Right in order. Douglas with the miss. Saved by Winters. Montgomery tried to tip, and the next one comes down off the window to Turpin.
You know, even though they didn't get the basket that time, they showed good offensive work on the glass right there. Both Winters and Montgomery going up against Kentucky's 2 big guys.
Kentucky out-rebounded Illinois only by 4, despite the big height advantage. Kenny Walker starts it off in the second half for the Wildcats and builds their lead back to 4 points.
And now Master back out picking Douglas up, giving him some of his own medicine. A little bit of defensive pressure by the Wildcats.
And Mintz is getting ready to come right back in the game. Altenberger, perhaps the best outside shooter the Illini have.
Kentucky's gone away from that zone defense they used in the second part of the first half, and they've gone back to their man-to-man defense, which is what they opened the game with.
Montgomery out from the pivot, bringing Turpin out with him. Winters finally settles in. Joe B. Hall, head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Here's an interesting substitution. It looks like Mintz is coming in for Richardson. So they're going to move Altenberger, who's been playing inside, outside, and he goes down to press the ball.
Yeah, Altenberger was originally a guard. They got Anthony Welch hurt very early in the season, and they had to switch him to the forward position. So obviously they gained some of the height advantage. Beal. Just give him a sliver of an opening, and he's gone.
That's twice in a row Kentucky's been able to penetrate the Illinois defense on that right side. Master made the pass the last time for the assist. That time, Beal got the basket.
So Altenberger playing in the backcourt now with Douglas. Mintz buries one from the free throw line. Scott Mintz, 6'9" sophomore from Kankakee. Again, a two-point game at 28-26 as Bowie brings it across.
Montgomery chose not to come down the court to pick him up and play him out there. And once he crosses midcourt, Beal just comes and gets it from him.
I think this Kentucky team isn't tournament hardened. This is their 72nd NCAA tournament game. Going back down through the years. Beal with the miss, and Mintz grabs the rebound.
And again, it was the good screen out that Illinois had. That's what you can do when you play a man-to-man defense. You can screen your man away from that glass, and Illinois had it surrounded.
Chance to tie here. Mintz with the miss. Turpin almost lost it. Beal down court quickly to Master.
Oh, what a follow by Bowie.
Sam Bowie getting his first basket.
He did it in grand style.
To 26, Kentucky leading just under 17 minutes. Bowie has 5 rebounds thus far.
Kentucky's gone to a zone defense now. They went away from the man-to-man, which they opened the second half with. They're in a 1-3-1. Beal on the point. They got Turpin and Bowie on the wings. A very quick Walker in the middle.
Altenberger working the outside.
Illinois is going to be very patient. They're going to look over this zone defense, and there's Douglas.
Douglas trying to hit the 20-footer. Here come the Wildcats. Beal says, let's slow it down now. Set it up.
Illinois is going to stay in that man-to-man. That's what they've played all afternoon.
And virtually all year, for that matter. Turpin. Again, Bowie with the follow, and he's fouled.
Sam's coming alive, and if you don't believe it, watch this here. Turpin with a miss. Watch him on the right side. He missed it. Go to the left side, and he got it in. Watch it from upstairs. Right here. Turpin with a miss. You'll see Bowie. Good effort on the first time. Went back for the second one. He's got the foul and will go to the line. He's gotten 2 field goals to start the second half here for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Sam with 4 points and 7 rebounds. Joby Hall upset about something over there. Bowie, of course, an amazing story. That he missed 2 years with that stress fracture in his left shin bone and worked patiently and worked hard to get back.
Winner's a little bit short. Maybe that ankle bothered him a little bit on that shot. That's a shot he'll make most of the time. That's Master's shot.
Turpin this time on the foul. Can't get it to go, but he's fouled. Illinois now can't buy a shot. And Kentucky is starting really to show its superiority on the backboard.
That's where their strength lies, inside with those 3 big guys. There's Lou Henson right there walking back to his bench after he talked to one of his guards. And they've taken that from Winters out of the basketball game.
Noticing Winters prior to the start of the second half, he seemed to be walking a lot more gingerly than he was before the game.
Oftentimes when you go out after playing the first half and you sit in the dressing room listening to what you're going to do in the second half, it will stiffen up a little bit, and I think maybe that's what happened. He needed to get it warm a little bit, and I don't think he is.
Turpin has 8 points, all in the first half, and he has 5 rebounds, and 4 of those have come here in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. That's Kentucky's biggest lead, 7.
They're going to stay in that 1-3-1. You see the Fighting Illini lining up in their 1-4. They'll move the ball around the perimeter so they can find their good shooters, and that's obviously Douglas and Altenberger and Richardson.
Richardson, who is out of the game, back in there now. Almost a 5-second call.
Pretty good pressure right now by Kentucky with those 2 big guys on the wing. Bowie and Turpin make it very difficult to get the good passing angle.
Mintz going inside to Montgomery. Goaltending. Scored for Montgomery.
I don't know if he hadn't letting that shot go, that it wouldn't have been a little bit short.
Pressure applied by the Illini in the backcourt, but Beal is no problem.
Beal handles the ball so well for Kentucky out front. Very rarely makes the turnover out there. Offensive foul on Bennett.
That's 4 fouls on Bennett. Winston Bennett, the outstanding Kentucky freshman, picks up his 4th personal foul.
Watch Bennett right here. You see the foul. We'll be right back.
I just got a sporty truck priced like some base trucks. The Mazda V2000 SE5. Look, it comes standard with a 5-speed overdrive, steel-belted radials and spoker wheels, sporty stripes, a step bumper, even dual sport mirrors. Pretty sporty for just $59.95.
Sakes alive. Only Mazda's got a sporty truck with just $59.95.
Yes, sir. Ready to launch. Temperature 45 below. Angle 45 degrees. T-minus 47, 46, 45. Fire!
45 explosion. Loaded with dynamite. So get bold with my whole breath.
Muhammad Ali, have past glories led to present pains? I'm Charles Carroll. Join us for the American Parade, Tuesday.
Frank Lever with Larry Conley back at Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky, where the cry, "Go Big Blue," is resounding off the rafters here. Take a look at the Final 4 matchups. Virginia is the first team to qualify, beating Indiana today. Then, of course, the winner of this game goes to Seattle next week. And tomorrow, Wake Forest and Houston, and Dayton and Georgetown will square off. That's the way the Final 4 is shaping up.
I bet when we started some weeks ago with this tournament, we wouldn't think that there'd be that many surprises in this Final 8.
Of course, you can watch it all through the championship game a week from Monday night, right here on CBS Sports. Illinois trailing by 5, bringing it down.
And again, that 1-3-1 defense being employed by Kentucky. They've got Barrett in the basketball game.
Montgomery gets in for an easy 2.
Sometimes you come off the bench like that, you're not familiar with what's going on. I think Barrett let that pass go right to the inside, and they laid it up and in, and now they're within 3.
33-30 with 14 minutes and 19 seconds left. Turnaround jumper fails to hit by Brett Barrett.
Pretty good move. Good move by Barrett right here. You see the rebounding right here in this half. Kentucky leading 9-3. A big advantage in the second half. Barrett 6'9", went inside against Altenberger that time, and Altenberger got him on the elbow. The second man is only a 64% free throw shooter.
Barrett did not play the other night against Louisville. I believe he used all of it.
He got every inch. Not a lot of confidence in his free throw shooting. A little unorthodox shot. He shot it real short that time, but Bowie came up with it.
Wildcats by 4, and they have the ball. Dickie Beal has undergone several arthroscopic knee surgery procedures.
Frank, since he's gotten in the starting lineup for Kentucky, they have been 9-1. He's shot over 60%. He's averaged 10 points a game. He's really the reason Kentucky's playing as well as they are right now.
Bowie. See if they'll count the basket. No basket. Charging on Bowie.
We saw this the other night in the Louisville basketball game. Bowie charging in right here. It's a big foul. Altenberger with a good defensive position. Drew it. You see him on his back right there.
Second foul on Bowie. Here come the Illini.
A little bit of a change in defense. They've gone away from that 1-3-1 and gone to a 2-3.
Somehow you get the impression with the noise level in here at times that every manhole cover in Lexington is being blown off. Nice move inside to Montgomery. Montgomery couldn't get it to go. The foul will go on Montgomery.
George Montgomery must be awfully frustrated because he had it up there. The good lob again, and it was Bruce Douglas with a feed. Look at this. Nobody around him. He beat Barrett low on the baseline. That's all you get when you go inside there because Bowie's going to grab the second chance.
Kentucky with a 4-point advantage. 13 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the game.
Look at that Illinois defense. They are really pressuring Kentucky, making it difficult to make any type of good, clean pass.
They did a job last week on Villanova, holding the Wildcats to 38%. Kentucky throws it away. Illini ball. Joe B. Hall. Not liking what he sees right now. Kentucky has turned it over 10 times in this game. Illinois 5. The other night against Maryland, Illinois went the whole second half with just 1 turnover.
So very patient on offense. They're an intelligent basketball team. Lou Henson coaches his club to take good shots.
Richardson knocks it down from 23. His 4th basket.
Watch the pressure.
Bowie gets it down to Barrett.
Even when Illinois presses the ball down court, Kentucky's not pressing the advantage. Once they get it over midcourt, they know it. They can retreat back and get their defense set up.
Dickie Beal going inside. Turpin has it stolen. Douglas. Beal takes it away from him. Foul is on Douglas.
Dickie Beal right there giving Illinois a little of their own medicine. They've been playing great defense. That time Beal stripped the ball from Douglas and started up the court, and Douglas just reached out and grabbed him.
That was a big trip down the floor for the Illini because they could have tied it with 12 minutes to go. Master. Nobody does it better when he's on.
That's what Turpin needs to do. Once the ball goes in there and they collapse on him, as Illinois has been doing, he needs to kick the ball back out quickly and give Master a chance for that jump shot.
Winters in the corner.
Kentucky back into that 1-3-1. Maybe a little bit of a floating 2-3. Look at Bowie try to go for the steal. Altenberger, good shot on the baseline.
Doug Altenberger ringing the bell from 20 feet. In the corner, again, it's a 2-point game. Kentucky doesn't have anybody to inbound. They just throw it high. They got Bowie there. Nobody going to reach him. Master tried to get around Richardson. Walker.
That collapse. Boy, they just collapsed when that ball goes inside.
Wild shot that time by Master. Montgomery grabs it. Here come the Illini with a chance to tie at 36. Douglas very patient on the outside. Who'll take the shot? Winters. We're tied.
Good feed by Altenberger. He saw Winters in the corner and nobody came to get him, and Winters just shot it from the baseline. Illinois tied this game.
Third time we've been tied. Illinois' only lead was at 5-4 with 16 minutes left in the first half. Beal drops it off to Walker.
Good penetration that time by Dickie Beal. Kenny Walker standing on the other side of the lane, received the pass and went up. Kentucky needs to do a little bit more of that. Illinois is sloughing off so much on the inside. They're really packing it back in, even though they look like they are in their man-to-man defense.
Mintz getting ready to come back in for the Illini, and Blackman for Kentucky. Winters from the other side. Not this time, and Walker. Skying high for the rebound. Inside to Turpin, over Montgomery.
That's about the only time in the second half that Kentucky has had success with that ball coming in there to Turpin. Illinois has been able to knock it back out. Now the crowd comes alive.
Crowd is on its feet. 4-point lead for the Wildcats. Two-three, Illinois looking it over. They got it in the middle. There's Richardson. Douglas with the follow. Master comes up with the rebound. Tipped to him by Turpin.
Two pretty good shots at it, Frank. They had one from the corner by Richardson and the follow by Douglas, but they couldn't get him to go through.
Kenny Walker to Beal. Inside, Bowie.
Looks inside. I think maybe Don get those Winners. I think maybe got the foul.
Winners will pick up his first.
Push the ball into the inside. That's what Kentucky does. Look at Winters trying to guard Bowie. There's a 6-inch height differential there. Bowie tried to go up. Winters on the block.
Bowie, a 72% free throw shooter, has 4 points and 10 rebounds. Isn't that something? He makes 24 of 25, and now he's missed 2 in a row in this game. 8:32 left to play. Timeout, Kentucky, leading the Illini by 5.
The first thing you notice about the Mazda RX-7 is its sleek, slippery styling. Then you notice amenities like contoured sports seats, a redesigned instrument cluster, and 5-speed overdrive. You also can't help but notice the Mazda RX-7's outstanding value. But perhaps most noticeable of all is just how you feel at times like these. The more you look, the more you like.
You know about Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong, will. But you can worry a lot less about Murphy's Law when you own a lawn boy. There's no oil to change, no valves to go bad. There's less to go wrong.
Ready to cook?
And for years of mowing, the engine is designed to last 50% longer than most. So get yourself a lawn boy and help make sure whatever can go wrong won't.
Last season, All-American Cheryl Miller and USC reigned supreme. Who will be this year's team of destiny? The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship next Sunday on CBS Sports.
That young man in the center of the screen is Kentucky's latest recruit. He comes from West Germany. His name is Gunther Benke, and if he looks like he stands out a little bit in the crowd, it's because he looks tall even when he's sitting. He's 7'4", and he's a good player.
He's an outstanding player. A number of players coming from the West German area in here. We saw a couple in Washington last week.
Coming up in the next few minutes, as this game winds down, we'll be selecting our Chevrolet Most Valuable Players. Chevrolet will be donating a $1,000 scholarship. Altenberger. Again, the Illini have cooled off. Great job of saving it. What a job by Winters in keeping that ball in play.
That could end up being a big, big play if Illinois can get a score right here.
Illinois needs a basket. They're down by 5 with 8 minutes left to play in the game.
Good shot of the Kentucky zone as you look from up top at 2-3. You see the two of the guys on the top of the free throw line. Illinois working the perimeter of that zone. There's Richardson.
Well, he's done that all afternoon. Quinn Richardson with 5 baskets, all of them from long range. And it's a 3-point contest. You see how important that save by Winters was a moment ago. Kentucky has out-rebounded Illinois in the second half, 13-7. So they're up now 10 rebounds for the game. Turpin with the miss. Richardson comes up with it. Illinois with a chance to trim it to 1. Richardson on the drive. Dumps it off to Altenberger. Again, the patience of the Illini.
The discipline. Altenberger could have taken a bad shot that time, decided not to. He didn't have the numbers.
Alley-oop. Winters couldn't get to it, and Kentucky comes up with it. Boy, that could have been a big one because it would have got the Illini within 1, and of course would have got him emotionally riled up with that slam. There's Turpin going up for the shot. Rebound, Beal. Turpin with the next one. Next one, Bowie. Beal is is down on the floor. He is injured. I mean, it got a little rough underneath there.
I'm telling you, there were some bodies flying around in there. Beal's right there. Here's Beal right here. He's going to take the ball up. He throws it back to Turpin. Turpin looks like he got hacked on the arm. Beal back with it again, tried to go up. Mintz with the block. Turpin back again. Look at this activity on the inside. There's Mintz. You see Beal in the lower part. Watch Bowie get the basket. He's the one who hit Beal. He got him right in the nose.
So Beal down to the floor. Looks like a bloody nose from here. 5-point lead for the Kentucky Wildcats as we have 6 minutes and 52 seconds left to play. Now he just needs a smelling salt, but
What makes it so tough is the fact that it was Bowie, his own teammate, who really caused the problem. You'll see him come down right here. After Bowie gets the shot, boom, right there is where he got it. It was Bowie's elbow that caught Beal right on the nose.
Beal will come out for a breather. First time he's been out of the ball game. Great catalyst for these Kentucky Wildcats.
I don't think they want him sitting on that sideline for very long. They need to get him back in this basketball game.
Well, Master is back in. They got Master and Blackman playing out front, then Bowie and Walker and Turpin lined up underneath the basket. 5-point lead for Kentucky with 6:40 to go. Richardson got it.
Oh, he is lighting it up from that corner over there. Bowie went to go get him, but he was too late getting there.
Illinois wasn't even counting on Richardson being a starter at the start of the season. And he's had a great senior year. Knocked out of bounds by the Illini. Pressure now by Illinois. Richardson is 6 out of 8 from the field.
Look at this pressure. Good pressure again by Illinois. Kentucky got it in, and that's their pressure release right there, Sam Bowie.
Kentucky leading by 3. For the winner, a trip to the Final Four in Seattle next weekend. Altenberger will get the foul, his second.
Turpin and Bowie are going to get a little gun-shy pretty soon here about bringing that basketball down to the waist, because every time they bring it down there, it's Altenberger, Richardson, or Douglas slapping it away, and here comes Dickie Beal.
Big hand as Beal comes back into the lineup. The winner of this game, by the way the pairings are set right now, will take on the winner of the Georgetown-Dayton game next Saturday in one of the 2 semifinal matches at Seattle, which you'll see right here on CBS. Bowie, after missing the first 2 free throws, has made 2 in a row. Kentucky by 5. Lou Henson.
2-3 zone again by Kentucky. You see Illinois attacking it with a 1-2-2. And there's the man who's led them today, and that's Quinn Richardson. Good shooting from the outside.
Altenberger is open. He can hit that shot, and does. Doug Altenberger buries one from 20 feet. And again, it's a 3-point game. Well, Illinois will not let Kentucky get away, will they?
Oh, you got guys like Richardson, Altenberger, and Douglas that can shoot the ball that well from the outside. You're going to keep the game close.
Turpin.
And if you've got a Turpin inside, he's going to keep him ahead.
13 for Turpin. 5-point lead for Kentucky. 5.5 minutes left. Alley-oop. Intended for Mintz. Knocked out of bounds by Kentucky.
Illinois has had a really frustrating afternoon with this lob pass. They've had about 4 of those just like that with no one around and couldn't get the ball to drop through. They either mishandled it or mistimed the jump.
Douglas into Altenberger. Winston Bennett, the Kentucky freshman, getting ready to come back into the game. He has 4 fouls on him.
Kentucky's going to stay in that 2-3 zone. They're going to have to make some changes to try to get to Altenberger.
Clutch shot by the 6'4 sophomore from Peoria, Doug Altenberger. Again, a 3-point Kentucky advantage.
Illinois with that just very soft pressure up the floor. You see Douglas on Beal.
Bowie.
Walker really fighting with Altenberger inside for position.
A lot of muscling going on underneath the boards. Beal brings it back outside. He'll start it over again.
The officials have really let these guys play in this basketball game. It's been an entertaining and a hard-fought contest.
Inside to Bowie, and he is chopped on the arm by Montgomery. By the way, should this get into a free throw shooting contest, Illinois is now over the limit, and Kentucky will be in the bonus the rest of the way. On the other hand, the Wildcats have fouled just twice here in the second half. Walker gets a rest. Bowie goes to the line. Bennett back in. Well, Sam Bowie, who did not score in the first half, did not even take a shot in the first half, has 10 points here in the second half of play. Timeout, 4 minutes, 28 seconds left to play in the game.
This is Jimmy Glover's first butterfly race. But right now, the butterflies are in his stomach.
Jimmy, this is your event.
You can do it. McDonald's sponsors sports from age group swim meets to the building of the Olympic Swim Stadium for one reason. You can do it. We believe that tiny voice not only makes better athletes, it makes better kids.
And do it. McDonald's and you.
For years now, we've been kidding Jim here about his eyesight. The fact is that Jim has the eyes of an eagle. Thanks, Boo. Why, he's one of the first guys to spot light beer from Miller. Saw right away that light tastes great and it's less filling.
Sure, all you have to do is read the label. It says light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
I think you want this, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, it's the same as the nose on your face.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Later today, see U.S. Olympic champion Scott Hamilton defend his world title, plus the pairs competition, the World Figure Skating Championships on CBS Sports Saturday.
Frank Lieber with Larry Conley at noisy Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky, where the Wildcats lead it by 5 with 4 minutes and 28 seconds left to play. The Illini trying to hang in there, despite the fact they're playing Kentucky in their lair. A lot of discussion about NCAA teams playing tournament games on their home court. Do you think it should be allowed?
Well, I think it's a very difficult question. You know, obviously it's an advantage for any club who comes in here. I know Memphis State played a couple of first-round games at their place. You've got to play somewhere, Frank, and obviously this is a place that basketball is number one, and a lot of people want to come in here and watch it. And if Kentucky's playing here and they have the advantage, they'll sell a lot of tickets, which they have done.
But it's obvious it gives the home club a terrific advantage when he got this crowd working for him.
I remember in 1980, Duke came in here and beat Kentucky, though, in the Mideast Regional, and then Purdue won and went on to the finals.
Altenberger knocks one down. Altenberger has suddenly heated up. He's got 12 points. And again, it's a three-point contest with the Illini applying the pressure. Sam Bowie almost let that one get away from him. Master controlling.
Good pressure by the Fighting Illini. They came down and picked up, and Bowie had to bring it up. Look at Kentucky to slow the basketball game down now. They're going to try to work for the good shot. They'll keep pushing that ball inside if they can. They're going to hold it.
Kentucky operating with a basic starting lineup, which features 4 seniors. And Walker, the lone underclassman. Beal trying to get rid of it. He turns it over.
I don't quite understand why Beal took the basketball and sheltered it. He couldn't do anything with it, and anytime you get a defensive call like that, the 5 seconds, it's going to go to the Fighting Illini. He just held the basketball. Chance for Illinois now to get to within 1.
Douglas on the outside. Kentucky has turned it over 6 times in the second half. Illinois twice. Richardson has been hot from the outside, so has Altenberger. Basket trims it to 1. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the game. To the winner, a shot at Seattle.
I think he's going to be content to stay in that 2-3 zone. If the Fighting Illini is looking for someone to take that shot, they're going to look at those 2 hot hands in Richardson and Altenberger.
Winners open in the corner. Bowie got a piece of it. Bowie got there in time to get a piece of it and deflected the shot.
Great block by Sam Bowie. Kentucky again going to run that stall game. Look for the double team again. Here comes Richardson to help.
And the foul will be on Quinn Richardson, his first.
Here could be a big block. This could be a big play in this basketball game. Watch Winters go up for the jumper right there. Look at Bowie. stretched out, all 7-1 of him. Got the block, and Kentucky got the ball.
1-and-1 situation for the Wildcats the rest of the way as Illinois is over the limit with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to play. Yeah, we were doing a little reminiscing last night with Dick Schreider, who's a member of the NCAA basketball committee. I didn't realize, for example, that this tournament was first played at the Evanston High School Gymnasium in Evanston, Illinois in 1939.
In fact, the first 3 years of it were played there.
That's the Final Four we're talking about now. 1 out of 2 for Beal. Illinois wants the timeout. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the game, and Kentucky leading Illinois by a score of 50-46. It did get a little nostalgic, as we said, talking to Wayne Duke, the commissioner of the Big Ten, who is one of the real instrumental forces in the Final Four, and how far it's become since he became involved back in the early 50s when he worked for the NCAA.
And, of course, the expansion going to 64 teams next year is going to make this tournament even a bigger affair. They think this is going to become the biggest sporting event in the history of America, Frank. They think it's going to go on and become bigger than the World Series, bigger than the Super Bowl. Obviously, there's an awful lot of interest when you've got 64 colleges spread out all over the United States participating in such a big athletic event.
Well, I would imagine these fans in Kentucky feel it's there right now. Super Bowl, World Series tied into one, and they hope to be there in Seattle next week.
One of the things I'm surprised about is the number of low-scoring games we've had in this tournament so far. Even the final game down in the Eastern Regional in Atlanta today, where Virginia beat Indiana, was a 50-48 score. We're going to be, it looks like, in the low 50s to mid-50s. A lot of clubs taking a lot more time, a lot more patience on their offense. NCAA statistics pointed out the other day that there are actually 20% fewer shots being taken now than there was 10 years ago. But yet the field goal percentages have continued to escalate. Clubs are taking better shots. They're just not taking as many of them.
Difference in this ball game here in the second half has amounted to free throw shooting, as Kentucky has hit 8 out of 13 from the line, and Illinois has not shot a single free throw in the second half. Timeout situation. Kentucky with 3, the Illini with 2, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. Illinois has the ball. They are down by 4.
They're going to stay in that 2-3 zone, Kentucky is. Altenberger and Richardson now switching sides of the floor.
Douglas at the top. Looking inside to Montgomery. Richardson's been hot and continues that way. Quinn Richardson gets his 7th long-range basket. And it's a 2-point game.
Good pressure that time by Illinois. A little bit stiffer pressure. They got Beal in the corner. They may have the 10 count.
They did. They turned it over. Illinois' ball.
Big turnover right there, and again, it was the defense. It's Lou Henson's fundamental man-to-man defense. The pressure got to Kentucky. They couldn't get it across. Chance to tie.
50-48. Kentucky leading. Illinois with a basket to tie here. Douglas takes the shot. Bowie grabs the rebound. And the open shot from 18 feet. Couldn't hit it. Master in the backcourt. Chased by Richardson.
Watch Richardson hawk Master. He is all over him. Good tight pressure. Winters out on Bowie. He's pulled him out. Almost another 5 count.
Douglas taking a swipe at it. Master double team, gets rid of it to Bowie.
They're going to keep the ball in the hands of Masters. He is the best free throw shooter they have.
He's the man that Illinois does not want to foul. When do you foul at this point? Clock is run down to just over a minute. Kentucky playing keep away with a 2-point lead, 50-48. As another NCAA tournament game goes down to the wire.
Frank, don't you believe the Fighting Illini don't know that Master is a good free throw shooter, and they're not going to foul him, and Kentucky's going to take a timeout.
Kentucky has 2 timeouts left, 50-48. They lead it.
IBM IBM proudly introduces a bright little addition to the family. Name, PC Junior. Weight, 12 pounds. Small but powerful. PC Junior. Designed by IBM to make computing easy for everyone. PC Junior comes with bright ideas, like a keyboard that doesn't need a cord. It's called the Freeboard. There are picture instructions to help you get started and special overlays to help you find the right keys. You can get easy-to-use software like a word processing program and more surprises. Games and graphics your kids won't believe, plus a starting price you won't believe. And with easy-to-add options, Junior can grow up real fast. PC Junior, the new family edition from IBM.
49 seconds left to play, and regardless of how this thing comes out, you got to give a lot of credit to Lou Henson and Illinois. You talk about the coaching job that Bobby Knight did in this tournament. How about the job that Henson has done playing at Rupp Arena, Kentucky's home court, playing with his top scorer, Efren Winters, really hobbled with a sore ankle, and yet he's hung in there all the way.
They've done an outstanding job of playing today. I think their defense has been about as good as I have seen this year. And they've really come on to the forefront. I can see why they just lost 4 games this year, and obviously one of them against Kentucky. But they played an outstanding tournament, and it's not over with yet.
Now, how long do you wait here before you foul?
Well, you got to go after the basketball. The way they play their defense, they'll really come out and try to pressure. Let's see if they try to steal this inbounds pass. Obviously, the guy they don't want to foul is Master.
Kentucky has turned it over 7 times in the second half. Again, they go to the safety release there, and Bowie. Dickie Beal drives in for 2. A whistle, and let's get the call. Going to be a timeout call for the Illini. Got so noisy here you couldn't tell what they were calling, but it is timeout called by the Illini, who now trail by 4 with 37 seconds left on the clock, and the chess game continues here at Rupp Arena.
You know, Craig, that's really a good point, because when this crowd gets so loud in here, it's very difficult to hear that whistle. And you can see right here, Dickie Beal with a good move to the inside. Everybody thinks they're going to hold it. Beal goes right to the basket with it. We talked about the leadership this young man provided. Boy, that was a big basket right there for the Wildcats.
As I recall, Beal, while he was being recruited, came very close to going to DePaul. There was a big flap over that. He wound up at Kentucky, and he has been hampered by injuries throughout his career, but he's certainly come on strong in the last half of his senior season. And he is the spark that makes the Wildcats go.
Well, the insertion of him into that starting lineup about 10 games ago really changed this Kentucky basketball team. It changed the way they did things. It gave him some extra speed, some quickness, and he really is the leader right now. All of these guys are looking to him.
So there's our story. Free throw situation, a big factor here in the second half, as we mentioned, with Kentucky doing all of the free throw shooting and Illinois not having a single free throw attempt.
Kentucky only has 2 fouls so far in this second half. They've been playing a lot of zone defense, and you can get away with not committing too many fouls if you sit back in a very passive zone.
That's the timeout situation. What do you do now? Get a shot off as quick as you can and then foul?
Well, I think what you've got to do is get the shot off. A good shot. They've got 37 seconds. Let the ball fall through. Call your timeout. Get your defense set up. They've had some success setting up that pressing defense. Kentucky comes man-to-man.
Douglas taking the inbounds pass to Winters. Richardson wide open. Yes! One more time for Quinn Richardson, who makes it a 2-point game with 23 seconds to go. And Beal in heavy traffic gets it across the center line, almost traveled. He is fouled by Douglas. Did he come close to walking, or did he?
I thought he was very close to walking. Watch him cross the half-court line right here. He dragged that extra step. It looks like he may have done it. It happened right in front of us here. You'll see it again. Beal's got the basketball, nowhere to go. They've got him trapped. Douglas has got him on one side, Winters on the other. They look up at the official, and there's the call.
Bowie was shaken up, and Sam Bowie will need some attention.
That same leg where he had the stress fracture.
The way they're manipulating it, maybe a cramp. Let's hope that's all it is. Herb has seen a lot of action. It was his left shin bone that sidelined him with the stress fracture for 2 years. He is in his 5th year, but he's only played 3. Of course, they only allow you got to play your 4 years in 5.
And this is only his 3rd year of playing. He did sit out those 2 full years. The impressive thing about Illinois' defense is the fact that they really came out after Kentucky after that made field goal again by Richardson. They fell through there. I looked for them to call a timeout. They didn't do it. They went straight to their press, and they almost got the turnover.
He is hobbling.
You'll see Bowie go down right here. That's where he fell. Looks like it might be just a cramp.
Beal on the free throw line is a 77% free throw shooter on the year. He's 1 out of 1 today. Wildcats doing some celebrating now with a 3-point lead with 14 seconds to go. Douglas. Foul by Master.
I don't quite understand that foul right there. Why would Master want to come out and stop the clock? What you want to do is put good pressure on the basketball, but not allowed. Oh, I see why now. They've only committed 2 fouls. This is just their 3rd foul. They can go for a couple of more, too. Henson right there is wanting the 2 shots.
Timeout. Kentucky with 12 seconds left to play.
This is the automobile you probably didn't expect from Mercedes-Benz. On the test track, it moves comfortably at more than 100 miles an hour. Its unique rear suspension provides extraordinary handling. Its quick reflexes exemplify legendary Mercedes-Benz performance. From the engineers of Mercedes-Benz, a new class of automobile. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class.
Frank Lieber with Larry Conley back at Rupp Arena, where the decibel level is unbelievable at this point. Kentucky leading 54-50. Wildcats, of course, won it all back in 1978, one of 5 national championships. And trying to get back to the Final Four. And they're 12 seconds away from doing just that.
You know, Frank, that was an interesting question you asked me while we were away. Why would Kentucky want to foul to stop the clock? Obviously, if you put good pressure on and you don't foul and you let them continue going down, you're going to get each tick of the clock. Kentucky still has 3 more fouls to take before Illinois walks to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. They may take them, they may not take them. That 4-point lead looming very large right now.
Word on Bowie is that he has a sprained ankle and nothing more from the Kentucky bench. Altenberger into Douglas. Master. Fouled him quick before he got the shot off.
And again, 2 seconds went off the clock.
So Kentucky working that clock down by fouling. Now that's still only the 4th team foul. They have 2 more to give before the Illini are in the 1-and-1 situation.
Look for him to do it again. Now he's going to get it up.
Richardson. Foul is on Turpin underneath the basket for shoving off on Montgomery.
2 more seconds of the clock went off, and again they take it out of bounds. No shooting foul. Still 1 more foul to give.
Douglas will inbound it. 8 seconds left to play. Foul is going to be on Beal, and this time I think it is going to be a shooting foul.
It's going to be 2 shots, and only 1 tick of the clock goes off. Look at Joe Hall. Is he upset? That whole Kentucky bench has been up off of their seats all afternoon. This Illinois team has really pushed them to the limit. Doug Altenberger on the free throw line.
Sam Bowie, sprained ankle and all, back in the lineup for the Wildcats here for the last 7 ticks.
Good pressure free throw by Altenberger. He just walked up there and knocked it down. This one will get them within 2, and they'll come right back with that press.
13 points for Altenberger, 3 out of 3 from the line.
That's a big miss.
Big miss. Richardson grabs it. Back to Altenberger, 3 seconds. Still not enough. And now they're saying no basket. Kentucky wins it. The Wildcats are going to Seattle. And they join Virginia as the second of the 4 regional champions. Great coaching job by this man, Lou Henson, who kept his team close all day long and had a chance to pull it out at the end.
They had a great afternoon of basketball here, and Lou Henson is to be credited with a great coaching job.
We'll have post-game interviews coming up shortly from Rupp Arena in Lexington. Now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
All right, Frank, and so Kentucky now is on its way to Seattle. Tell you what the home court advantage sometimes can mean in a basketball game. The Fighting Illini did not get to the free throw line once in the second half, and meanwhile, Kentucky was there 15 times in the second half. And then, of course, there was that questionable traveling call. But for Kentucky, they are one of the strongest teams in the tournament now, and they have an excellent chance to come away with the national championship. Of course, the big story that's about to develop with that team is the physical condition of Sam Bowie. They're going to need him, especially if they go up against Pat Ewing and Georgetown. Now, our Chevrolet players of the game, they are Quinn Richardson of Illinois and Big Mel Turpin out of Kentucky. And we will continue on our coverage on the road to the Final Four here on CBS in just a moment.
There's only one thing Rachel Stevens does well. Starting a boat isn't it. Stopping a boat isn't it either. What Rachel does well is drive. So well, she qualifies for Century Plain Talk Car Insurance, which rewards good drivers with good rates. So good, she has money to help pay for flying lessons. If you're a good driver, call Century, where all's well, even when all isn't.
It was moving day. Things were going great. Till the moving truck died at the toll booth gate. The troopers were glaring. Tempers were flaring.
Do I hear swearing?
What's more, it started to pour. The tow truck came and we gave a cheer. Then the couch slid out the rear. Now I know Ryder trucks are newer. They're tougher, they're strong. And driving a bargain sure didn't pay. So next time I'll think this way. It's Ryder or it's wrong.
I'm Jack Nicklaus, and this is the Augusta National Golf Club, home of the Masters. The course was designed by Alistair McKenzie with the immortal Bobby Jones. Jones once said that the course severely tests the player's temperament. The difficult greens demand fierce and unremitting concentration. The legacy of Bobby Jones lives on, a tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS Sports.
Now, let me correct the mistake I made, because Doug Altenberger did get to the free throw line in the last 7 seconds. The first time Illinois got there in the second half, they were 1 of 2 at the line. Kentucky was 10 of 15. That's in the second half. And their coach, Joe B. Hall, now is standing by with Frank Gleaver. So let's return you to Lexington. Frank?
And welcome back to Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky. You see some of the celebrating going on. They're cutting down the nets. And with me is Joe B. Hall. And going to be nice to be going back to the Final Four again.
It sure is. It's a great bunch of guys to take back. I'm real happy for them, especially the seniors, and they've waited a long time for it. They're very deserving. We beat a good ball club, a very good ball club, well coached, and came ready to play.
It
did not come easy, did it?
No, it did not come easy. But nothing that's good in life comes easy. You know that, Frank.
Right. Dick, I want to ask you a question. They had great pressure defense on you guys all day long today.
Right. Illinois, they always play great pressure defense. They took us out of our offense. We couldn't get the ball inside. We couldn't get into the running game. That's the type of style I like. But we had to adjust to a certain style, and we did it. And now we're on our way to the Final Four.
Since you've been put into this lineup, you kind of turned this basketball team around. They were having a good year. It looks like a great year now.
Well, you know, we have a group of talented young men, and we all work together. And by me being a senior, I think they follow my lead. I think they look for me to try to make something happen. And I think that with the confidence they have in me, with the confidence Coach Hall has in me, I just got to get something done.
How about a comment, Coach, of the job this young man has done for you the latter stages of the season?
Well, I don't think we have enough time, Frank, to tell everything that Dickie Beal has done for us down the stretch. But he's been our leader and our inspiration. Dickie has had his up and downs physically this year, but he's really come on playing at the top of his game right now. And certainly the leadership that we needed at the end of the season, Dickie Beal has given us.
He had the big basket at the end that you really needed.
He sure did. He went in, got the layup. But more than that, Dickie just gives our whole ball club confidence.
All right. So thanks very much. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Frank.
Joe B. Hall, the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, the champions of the Mideast region. Now, let's go back to Brent Musburger in New York.
All right, Frank, and right behind Frank, while he was talking to Joe B. Hall, Sam Bowie looked pretty healthy to me. How about you? Now, still ahead of us here on CBS, the World Figure Skating Championships. Coming up from Ottawa, Canada. We'll take a look at that. We'll have all the scores and highlights of our two regional finals when we continue here on the road to Seattle in the Final Four in just a moment.
For years now, we've been kidding Jim here about his eyesight. The fact is that Jim has the eyes of an eagle.
Thanks, Boo.
Why, he's one of the first guys to spot light beer from Miller. Saw right away that light tastes great and it's less filling.
Sure, all you have to do is read the label. It says light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
I think you want this, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, it's as plain as the nose on your face.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Later today, see U.S. Olympic champion Scott Hamilton defend his world title, plus the pairs competition, the World Figure Skating Championships on CBS Sports Saturday.
Now, a reminder that coming up in a few minutes, we are going to begin our coverage of the 1984 World Figure Skating Championships from Ottawa, Canada. What a beautiful event. And this weekend on CBS Sports Saturday and CBS Sports Sunday, you'll have the opportunity to watch all 4 Sarajevo Olympic gold medalists in action. Lovely Katarina Witt out of East Germany. She'll go for a world championship now to add to her European title and, of course, that Olympic gold medal. And she'll be competing against America's top hopeful, former world champion Elaine Zayak. And Elena Belova and Oleg Vasilyev of the Soviet Union. They are the leading pair skaters in the world, and they too are coming off a golden performance in Sarajevo. And of course, the unmistakable style and showmanship of Scott Hamilton. You know, he hasn't been beaten since 1981. You see him try for a 4th consecutive world championship. And of course, setting the standard for excellence on ice, Great Britain's incomparable Jane Torval and Christopher Dean. They have revolutionized ice dancing, and they'll make these world championships a perfect occasion. That is still ahead of us here on CBS, the World Figure Skating Championships from Ottawa, Canada, and we will continue with our coverage on the road to the Final Four in Seattle in just a moment.
Now there's a marathon with many competitors but no competition. The Xerox 1045 Marathon Copier. It's so advanced in design, it can be adapted to run 8 different ways. So intelligent, it can think for itself. And so rugged, it can run hour after hour. The Xerox 1045 Marathon Copier, built to shatter the record for endurance from Team Xerox, official sponsor of the 1984 Olympics.
Welcome! You've turned the city over to the next shift. The rest of the night is yours.
To Miller time!
Now comes your time with the best beer you can find, Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time. We've got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller time. Chevrolet taking charge.
Coming at you, one hot-selling wagon from Chevrolet, the front-drive Cavalier.
Hot.
Cavalier's 2-liter electronically fuel-injected engine delivers more standard horsepower than Ford Escort and the 3 leading imports. Hot. Plus, Cavalier wagon has more total room and a cool low price.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
We've got a favorite and a long shot, and already in Seattle, here is the long shot. Virginia, an unseeded team, beats Indiana for the East Regional Championship 50-48. The scene was the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Jim Miller here with 2 minutes left in the first half, deals in a field goal, then hit the free throw, and the Cavaliers led it 23-22. And the big 7-footer out of West Germany, Uwe Blab for Indiana. Gets back in there on the missed shot. 24-23, Indiana leads, and they went up by 3 at the half. Second half now. Olden Polynice, who replaced Ralph Sampson, hits on the jump hook. Now, Bobby Knight had to pull Steve Alford for a strategy talk there on the sideline. Alford's best move is coming up here, and Indiana takes a 38-36 lead. He was scoreless in the first half, 6 points overall. Now, watch Kent Needling. Steals the ball. This was the big play. Indiana had a chance to send the game into overtime. Stu Robinson's jumper is no good, and Ricky Stokes dribbles out the clock. The man with the biggest smile, and well, he had reason to be smiling, Terry Holland.
Our guys have played so hard, and we had a chance to win it. You know, just one more play we knew was all it was going to take. One rebound here, a free throw there, and of course my insides were really turning.
Isn't that something? Terry and Virginia get to the Final Four without Ralph Sampson. Now, as expected, the top seed in the Mideast and a team with a wealth of thoroughbreds up front. Kentucky has qualified. They beat back a very game Illinois team, 54-51. Efren Winters, playing with that tender ankle, gets on the scoreboard, took the pass from Bruce Douglas. Now Mel Turpin will take one from Dickie Beal and hit the jumper for Joe B. Winston Bennett came off Joe B's bench, only a freshman, scored 8 points in the first half. Kentucky led it by 2 at the half. Now Beal will go the length of the court to Jim Master and watch Sam Bowie come in on the follow. Didn't foul him, put a saddle on him. Here's Quinn Richardson hitting a jumper to bring Illinois within 2, 50-48. Minute regulation, and here's Beal, weaves his way through the defense. What a great moment that was for Kentucky right there. Got the corner turn, and the Wildcats with a celebration. Now they're in the same bracket with the winner of tomorrow's Georgetown showdown against Dayton. That would be the matchup there, and of course Virginia will be playing the winner of the champion of the Midwest. That, of course, is either Wake Forest or Houston. We will continue on the road to the Final Four here on CBS in just a moment.
All you gotta do is smell the coffee, splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Standing tall now, you're doing it right. Pour out a handful, splash on some spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there than America's favorite, unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash on some spice.
When I warm up before a game, I use Bengay.
Professionals like Larry Bird use Bengay not only after exercise, but to help warm up before. Does Bengay really help? Yes, warming up plus Bengay helps you get ready for action. Helps you loosen and tone muscles so you can run more comfortably, longer, to help you do your best. So whenever you're planning to exercise, use Bengay after and Bengay before.
Feel better with Bengay.
Move into more celebrity excitement. The new front drive Celebrity Eurosport. Special F41 sports suspension straightens out curves in a car that looks as special as it feels. Move into more celebrity. Eurosport. A touch of Europe at a Chevrolet price. Chevrolet. And you. Taking charge.
Now, tomorrow's regional final in the West will be between top-seeded Georgetown and Dayton, this year's Cinderella squad in the NCAA. Now, the Flyers have already been to the ball 3 times in the tournament, and now they hope that glass slipper will take them all the way to the Final Four in Seattle. Now, the last time Dayton made it to the Final Four was back in 1967. The Flyers were led by Donnie May, but they ran into UCLA.
Ahead to Chapman, 5 seconds left. Ed Young in the lane, fadeaway jumper. It's good! It's good! And Dayton wins 72-71!
We're definitely a better ball club than people realize. And hopefully people will realize now that we're just more than a Cinderella team.
After a first-round upset of LSU, Dayton caught powerful Oklahoma. Looking the other way, Chapman scored 41 points. Then Dayton upset Washington.
One more win and go to the Final Four. And if it's a dream, we really don't want to wake up.
Dayton's next opponent, Georgetown, appeared to be sleepwalking against SMU. Just when it looked as if they had everything going their way, the Hoyas went into that controversial stall. But they woke up in time to win it by a point, but the coach was not happy.
We are our own worst enemies, I think. As I've told the kids, when we have lost this year, I think we've beaten ourselves more so than anything. And Dayton got this far, you know, so Dayton can be Cinderella.
Last night, Georgetown lived up to its reputation. Patrick Ewing had 4 block shots against UNLV. That was just part of his night's work. He scored 16. He pulled down 15 rebounds. The Hoyas stopped the running Rebels. An interested spectator was Roosevelt Chapman. He returned to the pavilion to watch his next opponent.
Any team that you play at this point in time is tough. The crowd will be for Dayton. Nobody roots for Goliath.
All right, and of course we will have 2 regional finals tomorrow. We will start at 1:30 Eastern time, and the first one we're going to bring you will be the Midwest Championship. And of course, that is the Houston Cougars game. They go up against Wake Forest. The second one tomorrow will be this West Regional Final. That will be between Dayton and Georgetown. Now, we're going to start with the World Figure Skating Championships tomorrow at 12 noon. And of course, our first edition of that is coming up on CBS Sports Saturday. And we will continue here on the road to the Final Four and the World Figure Skating Championships in just a moment.
When I work out, I love to sweat. It's how I get the edge. But afterwards, I want to feel dry. So Speed Stick Antiperspirant gives me an edge, too. Speed Stick's the wide stick. It goes on dry. For man-sized protection in just a few strokes. Whatever game you're in, get the edge.
Let the wide stick give you the edge. Speed Stick Super Dry Antiperspirant.
By Menon. I know I don't look it, but I have sensitive skin. So do I. I have it too. Every time I shave, I get scraped right here. I feel it right here. Now, here's where I feel it. That's why I use Aftershave Skin Conditioner. After's different. It's a rich lotion. Hey, let me try that. It soothes razor scrape sensitive skin. Feels nice. Smells good, too. Hey, give me back my After.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. Aftershave Skin Conditioner.
By Menon.
It is the revelation of an automobile like none before. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class. Surprisingly trim and lean and fast. A virtue enhanced by its aerodynamic architecture. It has the quickest reflexes of any Mercedes-Benz sedan. From the engineers of Mercedes-Benz, a new class of automobile. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class.
last time Kentucky went to the Final Four, 1978, Jack Gibbons, 41 points. They beat Duke and win it all. But what about Sam Bowie? Let's send you back to Frank Lieber and find out if the big fellow's going to be okay for the Final Four. Frank?
Well, the pace of the celebration, Brent, has slowed down a little bit here, but there is some concern about Sam Bowie. Not so much from Sam Bowie's standpoint. We talked to him just a few moments ago. This is what he told us about that sprained ankle.
Yes, sir. Someone stepped on my ankle, and my body movement was going up, and my ankle stayed there. But this makes the ankle feel fine.
So there you have Sam Bowie of the Kentucky Wildcats. Won't be known really for a day or two what shape that ankle is in, but he'll be happy to take it as it is, and I can imagine he is going to be in Seattle with the rest of them next week.
He certainly will be, and I tell you what, 11 points and 14 rebounds. He had a great afternoon. You got to remember, he got all those points in the second half.
He really had a slow first half, but he said it really wasn't, he just wasn't getting in the offense because the shots weren't there, so he was content to pass it off. But once he started going, he really got after it.
Well, I think you'd have to credit Lou Hinton's Illinois club. They're the club that really shut it off on the inside. Turpin and Bowie were just ineffective until Bowie got cranked up about midway through the second half.
There were a lot of people who thought this might be a lopsided ball game coming in. After all, Illinois had the problem with Efren Winters with the sprained ankle. They were playing at Rupp Arena, which makes a big difference, and the Illini hung in there. They just wouldn't let Kentucky take off. Every time it looked like Kentucky might make a spurt.
Well, it was principally because of the outside shooting Illinois had. They just had great shooting from Richardson and Altenberger, which kept them in the basketball game. And surprisingly, they didn't even shoot a free throw in the second half. That's amazing.
So the Wildcats now in the Final Four. They'll take on the winner of the Georgetown-Dayton game next Saturday afternoon. Kevin Malley, the executive producer of NCAA Sports for CBS, our producer here in Lexington, Gene Harper, our director, Sandy Grossman, our associate producer, Bob Rowe, Stu Myers, Scott Johnson, John Connell, Sandy Bell, and the rest of the folks who helped us out today, providing the audio and the pictures, which made this another memorable NCAA tournament game. Yet another tight one, Kentucky and Illinois, with the Wildcats and Dickie Beal winding up joining Virginia as two of the four qualifiers in the Final Four in Seattle next week. Stay tuned now for CBS Sports Saturday, featuring World Figure Skating Championships. Our final score here in Lexington, the Kentucky Wildcats 54, the Fighting Illini of Illinois 51. For Larry Conley, this is Frank Lieber saying so long from Lexington. The NCAA Basketball Championship has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. Let the friendly skies bring Hawaii alive.
Be sure to watch a fascinating edition of 60 Minutes, the popular television news magazine that features Mike Wallace, Morley Safer, Harry Reisner, and Ed Bradley tomorrow evening on CBS.
If you want something new,
introducing Arby's Real Croissant Breakfast.
our breakfast is for you.
Light, flaky, buttery croissants.
You like to look for more.
Fresh eggs, crisp bacon, sausage, ham, mushrooms, and cheese.
You, we say for sure. So welcome to Arby's. You're right where you belong.
Arby's Real Croissant Breakfast.
Know what's new at Lee McLean? Silk sport coats and muted herringbone weaves. Lightweight pinstripe suits in navy, gray, and medium blue. Handsome silk blend sport coats. Crisp, comfortable suits in khaki and olive. And hopsack blazers in a rainbow of popular solids. Know what's not new at Lee McLean? Traditional styling, tasteful colors, fine fabrics, and prices that are about half what you'd expect to pay. Lee McLean, the Strathmore Factory Showroom, 1 mile west of Shelbyville on US 60.
Bluegrass Hardware Store.
Seal in heat this winter with Dow Corning silicone rubber sealant, available at Bluegrass. It's a tough, rubbery, long-lasting caulk that seals and insulates windows, dryer furnace vents, door casings, anywhere inside and outside the house. Available in 5 colors. Dow Corning paintable silicone rubber sealant, specially priced now at Bluegrass.
Bluegrass Hardware Store. When you shop best, you're through shopping.
WHAS-TV 11, your NCAA station.
All 4 Olympic gold medalists in figure skating have come to Ottawa for the 1984 World Championships. But the skaters who can expect the greatest support from this Canadian crowd were not medalists in Sarajevo. Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini suffered a fall in the Olympic short program and finished a disappointing 7th. Now in front of their home fans, this is their chance for redemption. The Maple Leaf will also be flying high for Brian Orser in the men's competition. He won both the short and long programs at Sarajevo on his way to a silver medal behind Scott Hamilton. Orser has never beaten Scott. This is his last shot. Undefeated since 1981 and winner of the Olympic gold, Scott Hamilton skates for his 4th World Championship in Ottawa. And you'll see it this afternoon on CBS Sports Saturday.
Welcome to CBS Sports Saturday. Now, Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Today we begin 2 days of coverage of the 1984 World Figure Skating Championships from Ottawa. Now, this is the climax to an exciting year of winter sports, and all 4 Olympic champions will be skating for the gold once more in Canada.